on the abdomen and massage the fundus. So uterine atony, the uterus not contracting, is the #1 cause of postpartum hemorrhage. Bimanual massage is probably the most effective thing that you guys would have.
We're going to need rubber gloves.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've been through paramedic school, obviously. So is that something now that's being taught in paramedic class?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because we were always
They
taught
still tell us
Nothing
never
goes
put
in.
nothing goes in unless
goes
it's,
in.
unless you're, you know,
You're fishing one out.
yeah, unless, you know, creating an airway
Right.
pocket for the baby.
All right.
Other than that,
You still do a fundal massage.
Then fundal massage externally only. So uterine atony is the #1 cause. Lacerations is the #2 cause. So you need to look and see if there are lacerations to the perineum, to the external vagina that you can see. If there are, hold pressure. And then retained products, so the placenta, part of the placenta being internally is the 3rd cause, and then some sort of coagulopathy is the least frequent cause. This would be my approach for uterine atony. So you can give fluids because they're hemorrhaging. Bimanual uterine massage or just fundal massage, and then medications. So you guys probably don't have any of these medications on the truck, right?
Speed.
A long time ago, we had Pitocin.
Really? Yeah. So,
We
yeah,
had
drive
We got it at
fast.
Mansfield.
So 56.
Hold on, back up a second. Just because this is our run, just something for everybody to understand. This was the doulas, an upstairs bedroom, and what was it that she ate? Her lips were blue, but it wasn't from hypoxia. It was something that the doulas had given her. It's supposed to be for the baby oxygenation, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, you walk in the door, it's like, oh crap, her lips are blue.
Yeah, it was.
And the baby was nowhere to be seen either.
Oh yeah, I thought that was very interesting.
So,
So did you end up transporting both baby and mom, or
no,
just mom?
because we
Never
never
found
saw
the
the
baby.
baby, and they didn't want us to see the baby.
really?
They
Yeah.
said they didn't want us messing with the baby. There were two, I believe there were 2 doulas there.
Yeah, they were doulas.
Yeah, that's the.
Yeah, there's
Midwife.
midwives and doulas. It's a
Not
total.
the doula.
I picture like Oompa Loompas.
Yeah. Two of the 2 home birthing things are one midwives and the other is called doula, and they're taught differently. One is
more
very
natural, one
homeopathic, which is the doula, and the midwives you see mostly up around Ty's area, up in Holmes County.
That's what
things like
Ty
that.
does up the side.
That's right. So,
Was these people?
pardon me?
What nationality? They were Caucasian.
They're
And
yeah,
this was the
doulas
second
are
home birth.
yeah.
And she had problems the first time as
Yeah.
well, and had to be transported prior to delivery.
Yeah.
So,
Second time's a charm.
yeah.
And the 3rd time will be even better.
And the other thing was the
Was this
the
all
doulas,
wrong?
yeah, the doulas were panicked. I mean, they were yelling at us to get her out here, get her down the stairs.
It's probably not good for business if your patient dies at home.
Hey, emergency on your part does not constitute an emergency on
That's
my
right.
part.
So you guys didn't get
All step aside.
Thanks for
We're
bringing that up,
good.
because I wanted to ask. So you guys never even saw the baby?
No, that's correct. We asked about the baby, but
What baby?
yeah, the
Well,
baby's
the baby's
fine.
not your
There's no
picture.
baby
Yeah,
involved
don't
here.
worry about the baby. You gotta get her out of here now. I was like, oh my goodness. I'm gonna go get the cop.
Well, doesn't put the baby to breast help
It
boost
does.
that natural stimulation of
Yeah, essentially Pitocin.
Pitocin?
Yeah.
So
And like I said, the whole
none of it.
extended family was in the room, but the baby
But no
wasn't.
baby.
Yeah.
So,
It was-
the dog was there. It was.
Where was that at, Chris?
On Olentangy, just north of Bethel.
It's way down.
Place that used to have, we had a train fire on the house, on the back of the
Purple house.
property. It's a purple house, yeah.
Oh.
Was the purple house? Had a BP. So.
Any other comments, questions?
Don't, just in general, you don't know if you have twins, so make sure you have 2 OB kids.
We didn't want trouble.
For later today.
Do I hear triplets in your phone?
So this was a 56-year-old woman, shoulder blade, jaw, and left arm pain. And cutting to the chase, here's her EKG. What do you guys think? There is some depression there.
3 and AVF look
3 pretty markedly.
and
AVF
just
a
a little bit.
Depression.
1. So
So-
I'd probably call it, just looking at the EKG, I'd probably call it in as a possible STEMI.
So it doesn't help that we don't have a patient here to see, and I've given absolutely no information. But
Posterior.
just 3 alone, that's just one lead. AVF, kind of tough to tell. But there's reciprocal depressions. And if you have reciprocal depressions, it's not normal. So I agree. Just looking at this EKG, I would call this because AVF looks elevated to me. 3 is absolutely elevated, and there's reciprocal depressions. So this was called as a STEMI alert. Patient was transported to OSU. The patient was actually at OSU family practice, and they called and for the patient with the STEMI. So diagnostic uncertainty wasn't really there. So we're on scene for 10 minutes. It's pretty good. Apparently the goal is less than 15 minutes. I didn't know that one. Went directly to the cath lab. She had a 100% inclusion of her RCA. Tropes got pretty elevated, no heart failure. So from first medical contact to balloon time was 40 minutes. Actually, that's not fair. That's from EMS provider contact time to balloon. She went to her family physician that day, so that would really be her first medical provider. Huh. So that's not really an accurate time, I don't think. But door to balloon at 21 minutes, and from EMS contact to balloon 40 minutes. Pretty darn good.
Better than Riverside. Sorry.
So here is her cath.
Yeah, that's a problem.
This is her right coronary artery. This is where it stops.
Wow.
And this is after angioplasty and stent. This is her right coronary artery continuing to actually perfuse her heart.
Yeah, that would have been bad a little bit later in the day.
Yeah. Thoughts, questions, comments? She was given aspirin. She was treated appropriately. An excellent job.
The reciprocal changes, any questions on that? You got that? You want to go back?
I argue questionable elevations with reciprocal changes are not normal.
But the reciprocal changes are in the lateral loops, right? L,
Yeah.
Yeah.
B5, 6. Okay.
But if you take that depression and you turn that EKG upside down, depression becomes elevation.
So true.
So, therefore,
Yeah, it's easy to
This
see.
is a bonus EKG. This was Columbus Fire. Yep, right there. Columbus Fire, Medical 31. That
They actually got out of the station.
brought to the ED. What do you guys think of this EKG? This was an 80-something-year-old guy, had chest pain, a little diaphoretic, kind of looked like crap. But he's 85 years old, so.
It's got a block somewhere.
I heard mumblings of depression.
It's got a block. It's wide in QRS somewhere. So, what is that? Oh, there it
Yes,
is.
he does.
LVH.
So, this is what we're all staring at, right? Is this just early repolarization, or is this a STEMI? Is this a change from his LVH in his left anterior fascicular block, or is this a STEMI?
Don't
it's
know.
still to prove it otherwise.
Yeah.
I was gonna
What's
say,
his
my
history?
practice has been to tell them that I gotta have normal EKG.
So this was transmitted.
Transmitted.
This was
Transmitted.
transmitted. And the computer started dinging, and I looked at the computer, and I said, oh my, this looks like a STEMI. And then it refreshed with the one that was actually being transmitted now. This guy had been transported in about 5 hours before I saw this EKG. He was actually on the other side of the department. So his history, he's got coronary artery disease, he's 85 years old, he's probably got other risk factors, history of MIs. This was his EKG in the emergency department, in which he also has those ST elevations and has reciprocal depressions. So I would argue, yes, this is a STEMI. He was still in the emergency department at that point, and then I got concerned, and I went over and talked to the resident that was seeing him, and he had a goals of care discussion and decided to go DNR. But yeah, he was a STEMI.
So he chose himself to go
Yeah.
DNR?
Yeah, he and his family. Yeah, 85, 86, very unhealthy. This was likely a terminal illness, whether they went to the cath lab or not. Oh, I guess that was the last one. Questions, comments, concerns, thoughts? I included that because of the reciprocal depressions thing. See? They were connected.
You can see it a little bit on that one, on the first one.